everybody. Welcome to Fall Freedom Fest, which really isn't a Fall Freedom Fest. It's on Zoom, and we're just going to have some fun tonight doing a Month of Fun's finale. My name's Nita Bells. I'm the founder and executive director of In Our Backyard, and I have with me Cheryl Chicky, one of our staff members. Say hi, Cheryl.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here tonight with you.
All right. All right. So you've been seeing our videos on social media, hopefully. Lots of information, and you've gotten to meet our whole staff. And I have a special privilege tonight to introduce a special guest. He's a Hollywood actor. You've seen him in shows like Nashville, Suits, Law and Order SVU, Without a Trace. He's a great guy, a great actor. His name is Eric Close, and you're going to love seeing him tonight and hearing his heart. He has a real heart to stop human trafficking. He loves In Our Backyard, and we love him. So without further ado, I want to introduce Eric Close, and welcome again to our finale for our Month of Funds.
Hello, my name is Eric Close. For nearly 30 years, I have been incredibly fortunate to work as a professional actor and director in both film and television. And because of my involvement with several high-profile television series, including Without a Trace, Nashville, and Suits, my career has afforded me the opportunity to lend my voice and my support to various causes that I believe in, that I'm passionate about. Well, recently I had lunch with my good friend Nita Bells, founder and executive director of In Our Backyard, a national nonprofit organization that is out there every day on the front line in the fight against human trafficking. I asked Nita how I could help, and she said, "Watch our film, Do You See What I See?" Wow. Did that film ever open my eyes to the fact that human trafficking is happening all around us, every day? And not just in countries that are thousands of miles away or in big cities, but right here in our own backyard. The fight became very real to me. Now, years ago, my mom and my grandparents escaped oppression from war-torn Europe, and they came to America and they found freedom. But sadly, many who should be afforded those same freedoms that you and I have, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, are enslaved in the dark world of sex and human trafficking, trapped without any foreseeable way out. But there is a way out. Organizations like In Our Backyard are out there every day fighting to give victims a pathway to freedom. For example, the distribution and placement of their freedom sticker in restrooms and convenience stores all across our country are raising awareness for victims that there is a lifeline available to them. We all have an opportunity to help in the fight against this dehumanizing injustice. It's my honor to introduce this sobering and eye-opening film, Do You See What I See? I hope that it resonates with you as much as it did me. And I would also ask that you please consider partnering with In Our Backyard by watching this short program to the end, and by sharing this message on social media and tagging In Our Backyard's Facebook and Instagram pages, and by donating at www.inourBackyard.org/donate. Did you know that less than 5% of the organization's funding goes to administrative costs? Less than 5%. In my opinion, that is a strong investment. So together, we can link arms to fight human trafficking in our backyard. Thank you.
Here on the front door. She's traveled to 10 Super Bowls with her organizations. The Super Bowl does not increase trafficking. Sex buyers increase trafficking.
Human trafficking happens every day in America, hidden in plain sight.
Youths who are at risk of being trafficked.
These are some of the children in our missing children's book.
With public restrooms, longer hours of operation, and more than 150,000 locations that serve half the U.S. population every day, we know that convenience stores are perfectly positioned to be a part of the solution to provide a pathway to freedom. Survivors of trafficking have reported being taken into convenience stores, sometimes multiple times a day.
Got this.
What you looking at?
Cats.
What's your
I
Instagram
know.
handle?
That's right. I don't have any more money, so I'm glad you don't need another receipt.
School personnel are uniquely well positioned to identify and report suspected human trafficking. They are on the front lines with students who face instability and safety concerns. Survivors state that a teacher would have been most helpful to them by giving the student the number to the hotline or calling for them. Begging is a common tactic by traffickers. They use force, fraud, or coercion and keep most, if not all, the money. Nearly 1/5 of all homeless youth will experience sex trafficking while living on the streets. Labor trafficking is every bit as cruel as sex trafficking. Victims are lured from a foreign country with the promises of good pay and the ability to send money back to their families in their home country. Sadly, they are overlooked and often treated horrifically behind closed doors, as well as they are paid little to nothing for what is oftentimes a 16 to 18-hour day. Another common place labor trafficking takes place is in restaurants. Victims of trafficking are not able to ask for help because they fear retribution from their trafficker, which is usually the owner or manager of the restaurant. 87% of survivors have reported accessing healthcare while in the life.
Crystal?
Many are seen with their trafficker, who will come in, stay with the victim, and respond to the doctors directly.
What brings you in today?
She's got an infection. She can't work. She's been laying around all day.
Are you allergic to any medications?
No, she's good.
Awareness of the issue is the first step in helping see the victims that are hidden in plain sight in cities and towns all over the U.S. Industry-specific training is available through organizations like In Our Backyard that can help professionals recognize potential victims they come in contact with in their line of work.
Imagine if every doctor, every teacher, every convenience store employee, every realtor, every occupation knew what human trafficking was, how to recognize it, and how to report it. We could stop human trafficking in our lifetime.
Wow, that short film is impactful, isn't it? It's a little bit about what we do at In Our Backyard every day. And we want to make sure to thank our sponsors. We certainly couldn't do what we're doing without our sponsors. And we're going to talk about volunteers next, and you're going to meet some of our volunteers. Cheryl, you were a volunteer for years at IOB before you became staff. What do you think of our volunteers?
Oh, our volunteers, I can't say enough about our volunteers, honestly. They are the most caring human beings on the planet that I have ever met. They have a deep passion to fight against human trafficking, and they just rally around the cause together, and it's just amazing to work with such amazing people.
Awesome. Well, let's see our volunteers, and then you're going to see some survivors and hear about their stories, and one of those will be Cheryl.
I have been a proud supporter and volunteer within our backyard for about 10 years now. In our backyard, 7 prevention programs link arms across America in the fight against human trafficking.
In our backyard's Freedom Sticker program linked arms with volunteers who posted over 500,000 freedom stickers containing the National Human Trafficking Hotline in public restrooms in all 50 states. Restrooms are often the only place that victims are alone and can safely reach out for a pathway to freedom.
Their convenience stores against trafficking programs link arms with nearly 20,000 stores to train over 280,000 employees to recognize and report indicators of human trafficking, like someone being controlled and not allowed to make a purchase without the trafficker's consent. Convenience stores serve half the U.S. population daily, and victims of human trafficking report they visited these stores every day.
Surrounding the past 11 Super Bowls, in our backyard linked arms with law enforcement, government agencies, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and other nonprofits nationwide in anti-human trafficking efforts. Traffickers often bring their victims to capitalize on the party atmosphere surrounding large events.
The Teens Against Trafficking program has prepared over 8,000 middle school and high school students to be aware of tactics that traffickers use to groom them.
In our backyard's legislative advisory program has linked arms with both state and federal legislators advising on anti-trafficking bills. In this way, IOB helps make our communities safer by preventing and recovering victims and survivors and bringing prosecution to perpetrators.
In our backyard's training and mobilization program has trained nearly 70,000 people with customized training for law enforcement, first responders, social services, colleges, universities, parents, communities, churches, and more.
In our backyard's survivor advocacy program linked arms to support over 300 survivors. In Our Backyard is known as a friend to survivors and links arms with survivors in every aspect of our work.
Since 2006, In Our Backyard's preventive programs have reached over 420,000 people.
Our hope is to link arms with you and increase that reach across the country in 2021.
Your support to sustain these vital programs that stop and prevent human trafficking matters.
This is a moment to shine a light of hope to end human trafficking in our lifetime. Will you link arms with us?
Will you link arms with us? We are delighted tonight to have you here. Thank you, volunteers. We love you all. I wish we could all be in the same room just laughing and having a great time. We appreciate you so much. You make the difference. Tonight, I have a special guest who is a survivor of human trafficking and our staff member, Cheryl Chickey.
Hello there.
Hello.
I'm Cheryl Chickey. I'm with Sarah Perkins today. And if any of you were at the Fall Freedom Fest last year, we both shared our stories. And we were excited to come back again this year for the live virtual event of Month of Funds. Our survivor stories are something that really brings us together. I think I heard your story for the first time last year. And what's unique about it is you really always listen to someone else's story and go, wow, there's similarities here, or I can relate with that. And what we wanted to bring awareness to you for tonight as the survivor voice is just the journey of the age of when this happens to us. When do we start to become exploited? It just, the education on every unique story matters. So I thought it was unique in my story, and I know it's unique, that mine started very early on. I remember being about 4th grade, struggling with my story of childhood sexual abuse and learning to confide in friends. It's the type of age where you want to get out and make some friends. And I confided to a boy in my class who was about a year older than me, and what happened was he ended up exploiting me. But the bond that we had obviously carried me to think he was caring for me, which obviously that wasn't happening. So it took some years of healing and journey to get through that and to really understand my own survivor voice, that it was exploited, that someone else was gaining off of me, even though they're only a year or two older than me. So the awareness for us was, wow, like we're talking about 10 to 12-year-old children. Like this is children living out the game. And what happens to them when they grow up? Well, I grew up and became an amazing survivor. But the unique part was during one of the recoveries we worked with law enforcement, his name came up again. And that day for me stopped me in my shoes because I realized his path was to grow up and become a trafficker for other women. It wasn't just me. So Sarah has a story also, and it's just kind of like the future, right? So here's where it started so young. And then what happens in that future? So why don't you share yours?
Yeah, so it was interesting because once I got out of the game and I was able to look back, I really learned a lot about my trafficker, and he was repeating a cycle that he had already seen in his home and that he had grown up with. And so his parents both struggled with drug addiction, and in order to support their habit, after selling everything in the home, he would exploit his wife, my exploiter's mom. And so they watched this stuff go down in the home. And if you can imagine, for a child, they don't know what's going on, right? So if the parents are doing these things and they're showing that, oh, it's not a big deal, this is what we do. Well, then in these kids' mind, they grow up thinking that this is just what we do. So I wasn't shocked when I found out more of who my exploiter was. And I wasn't shocked either that I also was a target. Coming from a residential treatment program, as a teenager, it was an all-girls program, and so I had no male interaction. So when he was the first person to approach me, I was flattered. Like, I bit right away. I was down to go on a date, like whatever. So really, I was super easy for him just to recruit straight into the game. And by then, he was in his late 30s, and this is still something that he does. So this is literally a lifestyle. He's completely just made it his mission. So yeah, I think there's definitely a life cycle to the game.
Yeah. And each survivor story is just so unique, not only on the survivor side, but also on the exploiter side. And we just wanted to share that with you guys tonight. So In Our Backyard has just been something that my heart's always been behind, because they have prevention programs that we really see that would have made a difference if they were around.
Yes, prevention programs in our high schools, prevention programs in Super Bowl, everywhere, IOBs everywhere. They are hitting the places where our girls are going, for sure.
Yeah. So education and raising awareness go hand in hand, and you need to hear it from us. Like, we are survivors. We are amazing hearts who just know that our stories now make a difference, and we want to share our story with you because we need you to make a difference too and support IOB. So we hope you had a great time listening with us. I enjoyed you.
Yeah, I enjoyed you.
See you guys. Thanks.
Wow. The incredible courage of those two every single day. Survivors are at the heart of what we do here at In Our Backyard. We need your help, though, to continue to do what we do, and you're an important part of this. In Our Backyard, we link arms across America in the fight against human trafficking, and we need to link arms with you tonight. We know you care as we do, or you wouldn't be here with us tonight. Can you help us help survivors like Sarah and Cheryl? And can you help others not ever have to be trafficked? Will you help us tonight? Stop trafficking, link arms with us. We're unabashedly asking for you to give, and we'll take your money however it's comfortable for you. And you can get on our website, inourBackyard.org. You can call us at 541-639-5008. You can send us a check at 1900 Northeast Division in Bend, Oregon, Thank you. We want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank each one of you that tuned in tonight. Thanks to all our volunteers. Thanks to Eric Close. Thank you all for being here with us tonight and linking arms in the fight against human trafficking.
This is Sergeant Molly McDade, and she oversees the law enforcement side of our Super Bowl. Molly, tell us about that. What do we do?
Well, I follow up Nita, and we get a diverse group of individuals there, both law enforcement and civilians. And whatever jurisdiction we're at, we've already leveraged a lot of very good collaborative relationships, and we are kind of just gathering information and passing along intel to the local jurisdiction.
So tell us about, do you remember one case that kind of stands out to you?
Yes, one in particular, I came home from Super Bowl, had a message on my phone, called that local jurisdiction back, and we talked for a little bit. We'd already turned over all the information to them, and it was enough information and intelligence that they could get a search warrant, which ended up with the recovery of one minor and 4 young adults.
So
from
5 victims recovered
from trafficking, and guns, drugs, cell phones, and all sorts of other interesting things that were going on that were illegal in that household.
Yeah. So good job, Molly.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It was good work.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Makes the dream work,
And
yeah.
puts bad guys in jails and
throwing touchdowns against traffickers.
Yes, indeed. Recovering victims of human trafficking.
Yeah.
And it's all because of you have helped us. And so we look forward to partnering with you some more. Thank you. #in our backyard.